All right, so here we are, and we have a triangle with an unknown side y, or an unknown angle y, rather, and we're asked to solve it. Now, the nice thing about a question like this is there's a ton of ways you can answer it. So I'm going to try answering the same question 2 or 3 different ways, just to show you that there's lots of different ways to do it. One thing you could do is you could look at these 2 angles and see that those supplementary. In other words, that these 2 angles have to add up to 180 degrees. And if that's true, then if this out here is 104, this over here must be the rest of it to get to 180. And 180 minus 104, well, that's 76 degrees. So that must be 76 degrees. And once I knew that, I could say, okay, well, this angle here is in the inside of a triangle. And the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. In that case, we'd say, okay, well, this angle must be 180 degrees minus these 2 put together. So what is 76 and 38 together? Well, these together, 70 and 30 would be 100. 8 and 6 is 14. So 114 degrees. So 180 minus 114 degrees. And then we would say, okay, well, that is 66 degrees. And you could put that there. And once we knew that that must be 66 degrees, then we can say, I need a new color. I'm going to go with a nice purple. I like purple. There we go. But these are also supplementary. These 2 must also add to 180. And so we'd say, okay, if this is 66, this must be the rest of it. It would be 180 degrees minus 66 degrees. And we'd say 114 degrees. And that must be what that is. This is 114 degrees. All right, now that may be more than enough for you to go on. And you can go back to your questions and go. So there we go. We saw one way to get to that answer. I'm going to stop you there and say, well, okay, how else could I have approached this answer? Well, we could have extended this line to make another outside angle. And we could have said these 2 need to be supplementary. They have to add to 180. So if that's 38, this must be the rest of it, which would be 142 degrees. Right? And then what we have here is 3 exterior angles. The first, the second, and the third exterior angle. And if you remember, the exterior angles always add up to 360 degrees on any polygon, not just a triangle. The exterior angles always add up to 360. So we could start adding these 2 together. We could say 104 plus 142. Well, that's 246 degrees. And so y must be 360 minus that. 360 minus 246. And 3 minus 2 is 100, and 60 minus 46, that is 14. So 114 degrees. And that would be our answer to the question. And it's a totally different way of answering the same question. And maybe I'll even do one more for you. Again, feel free to leave. You've got the answer. I just want to show you that there's so many ways to approach a question like this that I'm going to show you a third way. which is that for any triangle with an exterior angle, the exterior angle theorem tells us that this angle is equal to the sum of these two angles. In this case, if I called this A, and I called this angle X, this angle Y, an exterior angle in a triangle is always the sum of the two interior angles other than the one it touches, the two that are across from it. So in this case, we could use that. We could say again that we need to know this angle, but these are supplementary. They must add to 180 because they make a straight line. So if that's 104, this must be 76 degrees. And then we could use the exterior angle theorem to say that y must be these two added together, 76 degrees plus 38 degrees. And if you do that, 70 and 30 is 100, 6 and 8 is 14, for 114 degrees. I really hope I got the same answer every time I did that. I haven't actually been keeping track. There we go. I'm sure that I could come up with more ways to solve this, different ways where we found different things. But the principle holds. There's lots of ways to solve one of these questions. Whichever one works best for you, that's what you should do.